Hello everyone, this is Brian Mundy, and I just want to do a quick little tutorial on creating a polar coordinate panorama. And I've been doing a little of those. There's an automatic app on my iPad that does it. But how do you do this with a higher resolution file in Photoshop? Well, it's pretty straightforward and simple. I'm starting here in Lightroom, and I just happen to have an image here that will work well for this. It's something I just shot in Miami. We're just on a tour of the harbor in Miami, and shot this from the boat. And this is the kind of polar coordinate panorama that will make kind of interesting with the buildings in a circular image shooting out to the left and the right. And I use Lightroom to organize and handle all of my files. You can see over here on the left hand side all the different folders, and there's many folders that I have. But here in the Miami's photo folder, we have a scene in Miami Beach, and we're going to take it into Photoshop, and this is my typical workflow. We're going to go into, let me see, Photos, Edit In, and we're going to edit this in Photoshop, which will automatically open up this image. Presto, voila, boom, there we go, into Photoshop. And why that is opening. Rendering camera raw, interesting. Okay, here we are. So here's that very same image we had. It's now opened in Photoshop. And there's a couple things that we need to do to this image before we actually do our polar coordinates, and this will help make a much more seamless looking and a better quality image. And part of it is the fact that, you know, if you think of this image being spun around or mirrored almost from one edge to the other, what we have going on here with the clouds is a little bit different than what we have going on over here with the clouds. So we need to kind of even that out. So the first thing I'm going to do, double click and make my background image editable. I'm going to make a selection of this side of the image, and I'm going to go Command C, Command V to paste. As you see, I've created another layer with that image. I'm going to flip it, so we want to go into image, or is it edit? Yes. Free transform, I want it to flip horizontally, and you can see it's flipped. We're going to move it over to the right hand edge, drop it into this corner. We're going to add a layer mask. Sure, let's reveal. I'm going to click on my brush tool, and I'm going to grab a fairly, grab my pen from my tablet, because I tend to do all my masking. I'm going to grab a fairly large brush, use my bracket keys to either enlarge it or make it smaller, using a very soft edge brush in this particular case, and I'm going to mask these clouds and bring in this building, so that what we have on our right edge technically will do a good job and mirror our left edge as well. So there, I've just done that. We're going to go into this image. We are going to flatten it. At this point, what I'd like to do is I need to make this a square image. I don't necessarily want to crop it. I want all my information here. And since we're going to be contorting this so much, it doesn't matter if we squish it. So let's go into image. Let's go into image size. And I have my resample checked. I do have unlinked my size here in inches, and you can see my smallest dimension is 12.8, and again my goal is to make this a square, so let me put in 12.8. There we go, and do that, and now we've made a completely square image. Now here's a trick. I'll actually do this incorrect the first time, so let's go up into filter, distort, polar coordinates. There we go. And you can see I have nothing but blue. Well, let's reduce that size down. So here we've done the direction inward. And this really isn't the desired effect I want. This could be perhaps something you're creating and something you'd like it to come out that way, but this is not my desired effect. So to fix that, I need to go back, actually undo that. You can see what it looked like. And I need to rotate this image, and I need to rotate it 180 degrees. I need to flip it around like so. Now if I go back into Filter, Distort, Polar Coordinates, there we go. We see we have water. And you can see the effect we've achieved. I'm going to tell it OK. There you go. And we've created one of those interesting kind of polar coordinate things. Polar coordinate things. Images. You can see where I did the right side and the left side so that they would match up and blend. Otherwise, you would end up with what looks like a seam here. In this case, it's kind of seamlessly. Let's go Command 0, size-wise. It's kind of seamlessly blending the two images together. We've kind of done that. So there you have it. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple to be able to create these. Again, these can be used as images by themselves. You can now do some more compositing. You could put a large surfer or windsurfer in the water, and kind of distorting an angler and making his head getting bigger, kind of looking down on him. You could drop in some different things into the sky. You can create all kinds of different things. This could be just a starting place for you to do some other composites and tell an interesting story. So there you have it. Polar coordinate panoramas. Yep, that's what they're called.